Hello, this is Michael and Sylvia Forrester here today for the second session in Basic Waltz, which is part of the Everybody Dance series. In October we did rumba, in November we're doing waltz, 4 sessions, today is number 2, and in December we will do swing, right? So we're going to build on what we did last week. If you haven't seen the first week, there's a video of that first week of instruction. Sylvia and I will first show you just a quick reminder what we did last week, and then we'll go into 3 new steps that you can add on to what you know. So if you would come out, please. All right, so what we did last, we'll see if we can do this sideways here. Should be the best angle. We illustrated the basic box step in waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We showed how you can turn that box to the left. Next we may show you how to turn it to the right, but it's much simpler to do the left. And it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, I'm coming from a box. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Or we can keep that turning as much as we want. And we showed balance steps. Same rhythm, always the same count. We're going to do forward and back and then side to side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Before we wrap up today, we'll put some music on. We'll show you how all those things work together again. So we want to build on those basic steps. We're going to start doing that by showing what's called a progressive step. Progressive step is very, very useful, especially if you're dancing in a standard kind of ballroom style where you'd be going around the perimeter of the room in a counterclockwise direction, because you need to progress down the floor. And we're going to illustrate it that way. It's also useful, though, this step, even if you're not doing standard ballroom and you're just dancing as more in a social situation, like you might do at a wedding reception, for example. Because you just want to be able to move from the position you're in and then go into another step. So we will show the step as usual, and then we'll do it both ways so you can see it from the 2 directions, and then just break down what each leader and partner do. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Turn around, we'll do that again. And notice that in every case, we're changing our weight whenever we move the feet, and we are closing, right, before we move again. So 1, 2, close, 1, 2, close, 1, 2, close, and 1, 2, close. We can show it going this way, so it would be helpful as well, because you can progress in any direction. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, we thought we'd run out of the frame there. So what's happening here? Nothing too fancy. For the leader, it always beginning on the left foot. The first count is the forward step, heel forward, 1, side, together, half a box. But instead of, as in the box step, my next step being backward with the right, it's going to be forward. 1, 2, 3. So always forward, side, together, forward, side, together, forward, side, together. Not surprisingly, the follower's step is matching, right? It's the mirror. So the follower is going to go back on her right foot, and then side together, then on the left foot, side together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you're wondering, well, how is the follower supposed to know that it's a progressive step and not a box step? Well, it doesn't look any different. The difference is what?
I don't know, you get a lead that goes in
There's
that
a
direction.
pop quiz. Yeah, the lead is coming from the motion of the leader's body, right? It's that. Remember, we move from the center and we're communicating through all those contact points. So the follower is going to know if the leader begins the motion this way, in a split second behind, she's going to realize we're going in this direction. Same thing with the progressive step. The motion is going to be coming at her to keep moving in that same direction. So
And
that's how we know.
And the funny thing about this step is that it looks deceptively simple, but beginner dancers divide the weight of their feet, and they'll go like this, and then they'll be this way, and then they go. So you just got to practice, forward, side, together, and step on and change your weight, because we've had all kinds of dancers just get locked up.
Yeah, be decisive in the step, particularly for the leaders. Forward, the weight is here. The weight is here. The weight is here. The weight is here, and so on. Every time you move the feet, change that weight, and then close to complete the step before you move to the next step. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is an underarm turn. Underarm turn can be used anywhere on the floor if you're dancing in a social situation, but it's particularly useful if you are progressing down to a corner and you reach the corner. Now you have to change the line of dance. So let's pretend we've just we're going all the way down the floor. Well, here we are. But if we're dancing ballroom style, now we need to go that way. So how are we going to go that way? Well, one way to change that direction is through the underarm turn. And let's illustrate it, then we'll break it down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And you can see now we have the new line of dance. Now we're moving in this direction.
And I have been in situations where I'm dancing with a person and literally got stuck in a corner because the leader did not know how to initiate a turn or do a box step out. And so how do I know this is a question that I'm going to have to turn? What is that? Boom! He raises his hand. No matter what else, if he raises his hand, you go for it, even if he's wrong.
Yeah, the hand goes up almost always means time for a turn.
Turn, just
so,
turn.
And this is probably the most common way that people will negotiate a corner. In a minute, we'll show you another way to do it that is a little bit more straightforward and doesn't take as much time, because this does take, we'll show that again here. You have to go through a full underarm turn and then complete a box step, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and back, 2, 3, before you can go forward again. All right, so what's happening with the underarm turn? If you looked at the rumba videos, this is identical in terms of the basic body movement, the steps. The count is different, and the look with the rise and fall of the waltz as opposed to the hip action in rumba is different, but the steps are the same. So let's just do it this way. It might be a little bit clearer. So we begin with, the leader begins with the equivalent of half a box. 1, 2, 3. Then with the second part of that step, the hand goes up, and then this hand is used to help steer the follower through, right? So it's going to be a 1, 2, 3. On the next part of it, I, as the leader, am going to step forward with the left and turn to meet the follower. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to complete the step by going backward on the right foot, a 1, 2, 3. And then I'm ready to do whatever else. So all together without stopping from this angle, 1, 2, 3, hand up, 1, 2, 3, 1, meet the follower, 1, 2, 3. This This doesn't have to be done in a perfect right angle way, especially if you're just dancing socially. You can cut it short, you can overturn it, there are various ways you can play with it, but that's kind of the pure form where it moves on a right angle, right? And that's useful with that line of dance again, because we hit a corner, we're going this way, now we want to go that way. So if you keep it at the right angle, you're going to be aligned perfectly. Follower's got a little bit trickier step here in that she not only gets the signal to walk around, but because this is a slow underarm turn, she knows she needs to walk all the way around. It's not a quick turn, right? Which we're going to show you at that step a little bit later. 1, 2, 3, she's coming forward on the right, walking under, side together, forward, side together. All right, so do that again. Back on the right, side together, hand comes up, forward on the left, walk around, side together, forward, side together. And we have a nice pretty step, right? The other way to negotiate the corner that I suggested is called a balance and box step, because you already know the balance step. So we're going to do half of that. A 1, 2, 3. If we were doing purely a balance step, we would step back 1, 2, 3, and we're done. In this case, though, we're going to turn on the second part. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And all it is the turning of the body, right? 1, 2, 3, as if we're making a box. We'll do it from this angle. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. You can make this into a step all of its own if you just wanted to do a rotation that way. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. There's nothing wrong, by the way, with making up steps as long as they fit the basic structure, the basic pattern of the dance. Patterns were developed by somebody at some point and then combined into formalized syllabi or sets of steps. But if you can make something work and it's in the right rhythm, it's in the right form, in the right style, then go for it. And that's one way that one can kind of devise a newer step. The last thing we want to show is an open break and underarm turn. Again, there's a direct parallel to what we showed in rumba along these lines. Let's show it, we'll break it down. A 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3, and we're back to where we started.
And we always come out on 2, so if you rush your turn, it's going to be out of step. So it's 1 and 2, I'm already coming out.
Right, so instead of that walk around step, which is the slow underarm turn, this is a quicker underarm turn, right? How do you know the difference? You know the difference because of the way it's set up. This begins with the open break, right? And the open break is simply this part. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the open break part. 2, 3. So when I raise the arm now for the follower, she knows, well, this is not a slow walk around turn. She's got to keep to that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, right? So let's show that from this angle and then a few other notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you don't have to end exactly squarely. Sometimes when we dance this socially, what I meant, we don't necessarily have to come in this straight line position. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So we didn't exactly square up, but the rhythm doesn't change. We don't mess anything up. It's easy to correct your line of dance simply through body movement to get right back into the line. So we're not doing anything particularly special there in terms of setting up that step. It's same movements that we've already shown. Forward for the leader, side together. If there's any trickiness to it, it's that another side step before there's a back step, side step, fifth position with the right, and close. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you went in, Sylvia went into another fifth position, which would have been fine, and I probably would have followed her in that case so that we could have closed up over here. But I was just ending the step right there. It all works out. Don't worry about it. If you do that, make a mistake, it's not a problem. You just start the step over again. Okay, so that's everything we wanted to cover today. Don't want to try to do too much in any one session. We're going to get some music going, and we'll dance through the whole batch of steps that we've done so far in Waltz. And I think we'll use Michael Bublé. At this moment, Michael Bublé
with tears in your eyes, try to tell me that you have found you another, and you just don't love me no more. And what did you think? Faced with the knowledge that you just don't love me, but if you're not a person, I say babe, who won't you? 'Cause you just don't love me no more. Did you think I could hate you? Raise my hands to you. Oh, come on.
There you have it. Today, next week, session 3 in Waltz. We'll just keep on building our steps.